A glint of copper catches your eye in a velvet pouch, and suddenly a familiar penny feels charged with possibility. That nondescript 1984 cent, once just the lowest denomination you'd find jingling in your pocket, might actually be a key to unlocking a hidden fortune. Today's tale begins with a pivot in coinage history, a moment when rising metal costs nudged the mint to innovate, creating a brief production overlap that savvy collectors prize above almost any other modern error. In early 1984, copper approached levels where producing a solid copper penny became more expensive than its 1 cent face value. To tame costs, the mint experimented with zinc cores plated in copper, mimicking the look of traditional bronze cents but at a fraction of the metal expense. The transition wasn't instantaneous. For a few weeks, planchets of both compositions rolled through mint presses in Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, D. That slipstream is where the drama unfolds. While zinc-based pennies dominated circulation, a small number of leftover bronze blanks, identical in alloy to older cents, endured, virtually indistinguishable without careful testing. Finding an authentic 1984 bronze penny starts with a scale and calipers. Bronze examples weigh roughly 3.11 grams, while zinc-plated issues register closer to 2.5 grams. Tilt the coin under bright light, and you might glimpse a faint silvery stripe on zinc cores where the plating thinned. Under 10-power magnification, examine Lincoln's portrait. Bronze strikes often show slightly softer relief on his cheekbones, a telltale echo of heavier alloy flow during striking. The edge treatment can also betray the secret. Some bronze cents display perfectly even copper tones all around, whereas a zinc core might reveal tiny pockmarks where copper plating failed to adhere. Mint marks add another wrinkle. Philadelphia coins bear no letter, making their composition puzzle trickier since both metals appeared without distinction. Denver struck pennies, marked D, generally entered circulation later in the month, when zinc planchets were already in full swing, but a lucky few bronze D cents slipped through. Die varieties, catalogued by the Lincoln Cent Die Variety Project, such as FS 102, where the reverse date digits sit slightly closer, can help pinpoint true bronze examples. Collectors pore over these subtle differences, and certified bronze varieties earn eye-popping numbers on registry sets. Auction records underscore the fervor. In 2024, a pristine MS-66RD, red, 1984 bronze penny from Philadelphia soared past $850, while a similarly graded Denver bronze example nudged $900. Off-center strikes, where the design is shifted by as much as 30%, have broken the four-figure barrier, topping $1,200 for bold, dramatic misalignments. Double-die errors, far rarer, can climb beyond $2,000, especially when certified by PCGS or NGC with a wide AM designation on the reverse, where the letters in America flare unusually. Grading matters. A radiant red MS-65 may fetch 10 times more than a brown MS-65, as collectors crave that original mint luster. Beyond the statistics, live stories that breathe life into metal. One Texas dealer remembers a grandmother who brought in a taped roll of pennies, thinking they were worthless junk. Among them lay 3 bronze 1984 cents, which she sold for $1,800, enough to cover her annual property taxes. A forum member from Ohio recounted spending coin-starved vacations picking through faded sidewalk change, only to find a demarked bronze penny that became the cornerstone of his collection. Even today, social media posts about penny hunts spark wild conversations, driving newcomers to weigh and test every cent they touch. These tales highlight another truth: condition reigns supreme. Uncirculated pieces, fresh from mint packaging, display razor-sharp details, smooth fields unblemished by fingerprints or bag marks, and vibrant reddish-orange hues. At the MS-63 to MS-64 level, faint contact marks may live on the rims or fields but won't detract significantly from eye appeal. These grade tiers often sell for $300 to $400. As wear deepens, light friction wiping out high points, you move into about uncirculated, AU, and mint state, MS, 55 to 58, where coins trade in the $150 to $250 range, still a handsome sum for a modern penny. In circulated grades, VF to EF, expect values between $50 and $100, depending on strike quality and toning patterns. A well-worn, deep brown example may tempt a budget collector, but any hint of copper red spurs bidders to push prices higher. Seasoned numismatists also look to provenance. Coins accompanied by original mint packaging or neat sheets, even if long since separated, often command premiums for their traceable lineage. Registry-set collectors chase complete runs of 1984 varieties across multiple grades and mint marks, driving demand for coins that would otherwise languish in dealers' bins. Storage conditions influence value, too. Red specimens preserved in inert holders maintain their color, while brown or red-brown coins, left in cardboard flips, can suffer from acidic toning that dulls surfaces and erodes premiums. Looking ahead, the market shows little sign of cooling. With fewer than 1,000 certified bronze 1984 cents in high grades known, scarcity underpins steady price growth. Auction houses foresee red MS-66 examples eclipsing four figures as the segment of modern errors cements its place alongside classic rarities. For collectors aged 40 and up, who may recall finding pennies by the roll, the thrill of detecting a bronze survivor among zinc multitudes speaks to a deeper passion: the hunt, the verification, and the shared jubilation when the scales balance in your favor. So next time you jingle change in your hand, resist the impulse to rush through pennies. Pause, weigh, inspect, treat each cent as a potential gateway to history and profit. That unassuming 1984 piece could be your ticket to a $600 sale, a collector's joy, or simply the story you tell around numismatic circles. Ready for the next chapter? Let's move on to uncover the secrets hiding within coins from 1963. With the bronze glow of the 1984 penny still fresh in your mind, shift your gaze back to a year when change felt both hopeful and routine, 1963. Unlike the modern pivot we explored earlier, the 1963 cent wore the same bronze alloy that had defined Lincoln pennies for decades. Yet within that familiarity lurked subtle anomalies and die quirks that turned ordinary change into numismatic treasures. In 1963, the United States was at the height of post-war prosperity, and the penny remained a steadfast symbol of everyday commerce. Struck on planchets of 95% copper and 5% zinc, these coins rolled off presses in Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, marked D, without fanfare. On the surface they looked identical to the preceding years, but careful observers would later uncover die varieties that transformed a handful of these cents into coveted collector's items. One of the most famous errors from 1963 is the double die obverse, commonly catalogued as DDO-001. On these specimens, Lincoln's ear appears to echo in a faint secondary image, and the inscription, "In God We Trust," carries a subtle blur. Only a few thousand of these errors exist, making them both rare and in high demand. Another intriguing variety is the repunched mint mark, RPM, where the D on Denver coins shows evidence of two distinct impressions, one slightly offset from the other, hinting at a hurried correction during production. Collectors also seek out the weak reverse strike, where the reverse fields appear shallow, and minute die cracks that trace spiderweb patterns near the date. Spotting these rarities requires more than just a casual glance. Under 10-power magnification, the doubled die manifests as parallel shadows along the letters and numerals. A loop reveals layer upon layer of stamping, as though the die itself stuttered during each strike. In the case of repunched mint marks, the offset is often as small as 1/150th of an inch, visible only by angling the coin under raking light. Dealers encourage using color-corrected LED lamps to highlight die cracks and doubling. Even seasoned collectors return to basic tools, mica plates, scales, and tweezers, to scrutinize weight, planchet thickness, and edge details. At auction, these 1963 anomalies command significant premiums. A certified PCGS MS-65RD, red, regular strike often sells in the $100 to $150 range, but a DDO-001 in comparable condition can skyrocket to $1,200 or more. One record sale saw a DDO-001 graded MS-66RD CAC realize $2,400, a testament to both its rarity and eye appeal. RPM examples graded -58 Australian dollars routinely fetch $500, while those in mint state top $1,000. Even weak reverse and die crack varieties can bring $200 to $300 in mid-grade, surprising many who underestimate their value. Auction catalogs note that these prices reflect a growing appreciation for mid-century errors, influenced by registry set competition and a resurgence of interest among collectors in their 40s and 50s. Stories behind these pennies add a vivid layer to their allure. One collector recounts discovering a DDO-001 tucked inside a beat-up coin album inherited from his grandfather, a man who once worked at a local bank and saved rolls of unsearched cents. That single find financed the collector's first trip to a major coin convention. Another tale involves a dealer in Denver who rescued a batch of cents from a school's coin drive, spotting a repunched mint mark on the very first coin he examined. That coin alone covered the cost of the entire donation. Such anecdotes underscore how everyday actions, saving change, participating in fundraisers, or simply sorting through inherited albums, can yield extraordinary rewards. Condition plays a decisive role in the value spectrum. Mint state reds with full original luster bring the highest bids, with MS-66 examples often breaking four figures. Slightly lower grades, MS-63 to MS-64, still command respectable sums, typically between $300 and $600, depending on the variety. About uncirculated coins, graded -55 Australian dollars to -58 Australian dollars, carry visible mint luster only on protected fields and trade in the $150 to $250 bracket. Once where becomes noticeable, flattening on Lincoln's cheek and hair, value falls into fine, F12, and very fine, VF20, ranges, where demand shifts toward the error variety rather than the strike quality. At these levels, even a DDO-001 might trade for $100 to $150, a modest outlay for a genuine double die. Beyond market forces, provenance can tip the scales. Coins with documented pedigrees, those featured in past auction catalogs or included in notable registry sets, often sell at a premium of 10 to 15%. Some collectors prize coins from the original mint bags, referred to as original roll or bag fresh, believing they preserve exceptional toning and strike quality. Others focus on registry challenges, assembling thematic dime-year collections that pit one collector's 9-coin set against another's. These competitive hunts have spurred growth in specialized publications and online forums, where members share high-resolution photos, gradations, and sale results. Interestingly, the 1963 penny has also found its way into popular culture. A scene in a recent historical drama shows a clandestine coin exchange, using a rare DDO-001 as proof of authenticity. That brief moment sparked a surge of searches on numismatic websites, with traffic to 1963 penny guides increasing by nearly 40% the following week. Local coin shops reported newcomers bringing family jars of copper change, eyes bright with the hope of uncovering the same movie coin. The crossover between film and collecting illustrates how even mid-century coins can capture the public imagination when spotlighted creatively. Through each twist of die and turn of the coin, the 1963 cent reveals why collecting is as much about storytelling as it is about metal and mint marks. From the precision of magnification to the thrill of auction paddles rising, these pennies embody a bridge between past and present. If you ever handle a 1963 bronze concert today, remember that subtle doubling or a faint mint mark overlay can transform it from pocket change into a numismatic milestone. As you set aside that roll for closer inspection, anticipate the next chapter in our exploration of modern penny rarities. Soon, we'll unravel the curious world of 1998 1-cent errors, where new technologies met classic designs to produce some of the most unusual penny anomalies of our time. Sliding from mid-century quirks into the digital age, 1998 marked another pivotal year for Lincoln cents, one where modern minting techniques combined with unexpected mishaps to create a playground for seasoned collectors. As pressing speeds increased and quality control adapted to new technologies, a handful of pennies slipped past standard inspections, leaving behind clues in die errors, planchet flaws, and plating oddities that now fetch high prices and stir passionate discussions in collecting circles. The 1998 penny carries forward the copper-plated zinc design first introduced in 1982, but by the late 90s, the mint had fine-tuned its processes. Planchets arrived with precise zinc cores and uniform copper coatings, aiming for efficiency without sacrificing appearance. Yet the rush of high-volume production, billions of coins struck each year, inevitably sparked anomalies. Striking under immense pressure sometimes led to double dies, where details like Lincoln's jawline or the date imprint appear as faint secondary images. In other instances, poorly blended alloy slugs produced off-center planchets that reveal more zinc than copper when tilted under light. These quirks, once dismissed as minor flaws, now form the basis of prized error varieties. Identifying a noteworthy 1998 penny starts with simple tools: a loop, a small light source, and a scale to confirm weight at 2.5 grams. Under magnification, seek evidence of doubling along the date or lettering on the obverse. Some errors, aptly dubbed broadstrikes, display excessively flattened rims and sporadic doubling on both sides, suggesting the collar die failed to contain the planchet fully. Off-center strikes shift Lincoln's portrait toward one edge, leaving a crescent-shaped blank area that collectors eagerly pursue when the misalignment exceeds 15%. Equally intriguing are clipped planchets, coin blanks trimmed asymmetrically by misfeeds, where the missing metal creates distinctive arcs. When these flaws align with heavy, well-distributed strikes, the coins transform from mere curiosities into auction highlights. Market values for 1998 error cents vary widely based on rarity and condition. A standard MS-65RD, red, 1998 Philadelphia cent might fetch around 50 cents to $1 in bulk lots, a testimony to its abundance. However, certified error pieces command exponentially higher prices. A PCGS-graded MS-66BN, brown, off-center example with a 20% misalignment sold for approximately $450, while a dramatic broadstrike in MS-63 climbed past $600 at a recent online auction. Doubling errors, particularly those affecting the date, can reach $800 to $1,200 when the doubling is distinct and the fields remain pristine. Around half of known clipped planchet errors grade between $150 and $300, depending on clip size and strike quality, though exceptional specimens break four-figure marks when paired with deep red toning and flawless surfaces. Beyond numbers, stories of 1998 penny hunts enliven collector forums. One enthusiast in Florida recounts sifting through change over months before unearthing an off-center cent that turned into a $600 payday, enough to fund his next coin show trip. Another tale involves a school teacher who used her classroom's coin jars as an impromptu treasure trove, guiding students to weigh, tilt, and inspect each penny, sparking both curiosity and collective pride when a clipped planchet emerged. Social media videos highlighting 1998 penny errors often rack up tens of thousands of views, fueling a new generation of numismatists who relish the detective work of error identification. Technological advancements also influenced the 1998 market. High-resolution digital microscopy has become standard among serious collectors, revealing microcracks, die chips, and subtle doubling that the unaided eye might miss. Online databases cataloging die marriages help enthusiasts cross-reference small details, such as the distinctive filled-in D mint mark on some Denver issues, against known error lists. These resources, paired with registry-style competitions, have elevated 1998 penny collecting from casual side interest to a focused specialty area, where dedicated subsets track every conceivable variation from repunched mintmarks to plated lamination flaws. Condition remains crucial. A flashy red MS-67RD error specimen brings the strongest bids, with auction prices sometimes eclipsing $2,000 for dramatic broadstrikes or pronounced doubling. MS-65 and MS-66 grades, offering a balance of eye appeal and affordability, trade in the $300 to $800 range depending on error type. Once wear appears, flattening high points, dulling fields, values taper sharply. About uncirculated, -$50 to -$58. Error cents might sell for 1/4 to 1/3 of uncirculated examples, but even a worn-off center coin can be worth $75 to $150 if the misalignment is bold. In the lowest circulated grades, good to fine, error coins seldom drop below $25, making them accessible entry points for newcomers eager to experience the thrill of discovery. Interestingly, the 1998 penny error narrative isn't confined to physical auctions. Digital tokens and blockchain-based provenance platforms are beginning to track high-end specimens, offering immutable ownership records that verify authenticity. While still nascent in numismatics, these platforms hint at future synergies where a rare 1998 Broadstrike penny might come with a digital twin, an NFT proving its pedigree and linking directly to grading certificates. For experienced collectors, this intersection of tangible coins and digital proof offers a new frontier to explore, blending time-honored collecting with cutting-edge technology. Beyond error coins, the standard 1998 Lincoln cent carries its own subtle charm. Many pieces exhibit brilliant red toning, a testament to fresh copper plating, while others show early signs of golden or russet hues, hinting at storage conditions and chemical interactions over 20+ years. These color variations affect value, too. A red-brown MS-65 regular strike might trade for $3 to $5, whereas a fully red example could command $10 to $15 in similar grade. For collectors who appreciate surface aesthetics as much as mint anomalies, this tonal spectrum offers a parallel collecting path, where investment in storage, conservation, and presentation becomes part of the appeal. Ultimately, the allure of the 1998 penny lies in its accessibility and diversity. Unlike century-old rarities that require deep pockets and specialized knowledge, these modern errors allow collectors in their 40s and 50s to leverage familiarity with pocket change and basic tools to unearth significant value. Every pocketful, every change jar, every classroom project holds the potential for discovery. When you next handle a handful of pennies, pause to tilt each one under light, run a finger along its rim, and listen closely, because that single cent may hold a story waiting to be told, a surprise waiting to be graded, and a reward waiting to be claimed.